Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. Today I have quite a big book haul for you. And actually this is a second introduction because I already filmed this book haul towards the end of July, but I had a few more things that came in that I wanted to include. So I just thought I would film a new introduction, film the rest of these books, and then also put in the books that I already filmed from earlier. I think I have 11 books to show you today. 3 of them I found at a thrift store and the rest were all sent to me as kind of late birthday gifts and also a Christmas book exchange that I did with my patrons, and one that I don't know where it came from. So you might have to help me with that. Let's start with that one. I'm just going to dive in with these 11. Then I'll go ahead and share the haul that I already filmed a couple weeks ago. First of all, I got this one from Book Depository. It's Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day by Winifred Watson. And I have no idea who sent this to me. I love these Persephone Classics edition. It's just so pretty. I did read this one in June and I really enjoyed it. And I love that there's illustrations all the way through. This is a really fun book about Miss Pettigrew, who is me in a book. Older, in her 40s, single, a nanny, and she just has this adventure throughout the course of one day, and it's lovely. I really, really enjoyed it. And so thank you. If you're the one who sent this to me, please let me know so that I can thank you properly. But I'm excited to own that one now. And then as I mentioned, I did a Christmas in July book exchange, and my Christmas in July elf, as she called herself. This is a beautiful picture book with a sweet message for us all. One of my faves. And then ho 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 from your Christmas in July elves. So first of all, she sent me The Year of Miss Agnes by Kirkpatrick Hill. This is just a middle grade. It's not a Newbery. I thought at first that it was. This says it's a Simon Wiesenthal Center Children's Book Award. Never heard of that award, but I'm excited for this one. And also, I'm so excited for this. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse by Charlie Macquarie. I saw this one going around on Instagram a while ago. It's just a picture book with some thoughts and ponderings in it that is just lovely. Oh, is that music? How cool. Lively and in strict time. But I've just heard a lot of praise for this one, and so I added it to my Amazon wish list, and I'm so thankful to have it now. And it's a gorgeous edition, and I will probably read it soon because I'm very, very interested in that one. So thank you to my secret elf from that book exchange. That's kind of fun. Then in July, was it in July or June? I think it was at the end of June that there was a meetup of patrons of Currently Reading Podcast who live in this area. And one of the women who I met that day, Cindy, sent me some belated birthday gifts. That was so kind. I mentioned my BookTube channel as one does. And she subscribed and now she's watching. So thank you so much, Cindy. I'm so excited about this. She sent me And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer by Frederick Bachman. This is just a little teeny tiny novella that I didn't have yet. I would like to own everything that Frederick Bachman has written because I love him. And I just think that this is going to be really cool. I love that Lisa Genova is the blurb on the back. I read this beautifully imagined and moving novella in one sitting, utterly wowed, wanting to share it with everyone I know. That's high praise from another beloved author of mine. I'm really excited for that one. And she also sent me a middle grade by an author that I love, Pam Munoz Ryan, and this is Manana Land. So I'm excited to have this one as well. Cindy said that she has read this recently and loved it. So I'm very excited to read some more Pam Munoz Ryan. She wrote Echo, which I love. She wrote Esperanza Rising, which I love, and a handful of other books, which are also probably wonderful. So now I have a few of them on my shelves and I'm very excited to have one more. I need to read more. So thank you, Cindy, for those thoughtful gifts. Jewel, one of my patrons and friends here, sent me 2 middle grade books that she had read and wanted to pass along. And it's the start of a series called The Story Seeker. Well, it's a New York Public Library book, I think is the name of the series. There's The Story Seeker and then The Story Collector. Look how cute those covers are. So cute, by Kristen O'Donnell Tubb. So these both of them take place in the New York Public Library, which I went to for the first time just a couple years ago. Viviani calls the New York Public Library home, but it holds secrets that she has yet to uncover. And then Viviani calls the New York Public Library home, but how far will she go to protect it in this one? So I'm just really excited for those. Thank you so much to Jewel for sending me those. They're beautiful hardcovers too. I'm excited to read them. And then I have one more that came like this, and I don't know what it is because I haven't opened it. This one is from Sue's Crazy Sam. Wanted to get into the spirit of the season. Happy Christmas in July. Pick a book that is... Oh, she picked a book that was on her TBR as well. So, season's greetings, she said. That's cute. I love it. Let's see what it is. Dun, da, da, da. Oh, yay. Atomic Habits by James Clear. I have heard such high praise for this book. Tiny changes, remarkable results. An easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. I am constantly working on building better habits into my life. I love to give myself monthly challenges that sometimes have developed into lifelong habits. For example, this was a year challenge. A number of years ago, I gave up soda for Lent, not for Lent. I gave up soda as a New Year's resolution, and it kind of stuck, and I very rarely ever drink soda. I gave up cereal for a month at one point, and now I very rarely eat cereal, which is so sad, mainly because of the milk issues in my body. But this is hopefully going to be a really good book to help continue to build discipline into my life and healthier habits for myself. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Suze. I'm so excited. That's so kind. And I love these bags that are from Amazon. When you choose a gift bag, these are what they give. That's really cool. I reuse them. They're lovely. And the last three I bought at a thrift store when I went thrift shopping a couple of weeks ago. So I have three more books. Another nonfiction, this is Christian nonfiction, is called Brave Enough. Getting over fears, flaws, and failures to live bold and free. It's blurbed by Christine Kane, and Nicole Eunice, I believe, is local. I want to say she's local, or she's come to speak at a local church. I've heard about her from other Richmond bookstagrammers that I follow. So when I saw this and it was only $1 at that thrift store and it's in perfect condition, I thought this would be a good one to add to my Christian nonfiction shelf and read it at some point. I picked up The Song of the Jade Lily by Christy Manning. This one was at a library book sale. When I took one of my nanny kids to the library one day, we stopped and of course looked at the shelf because that's what I do. I just read The Lost Jewels by Christy Manning and really enjoyed it. And this is her first book. I believe this might be her debut. I'm not really sure, but this is another historical fiction. Takes place in 1939 and 2016. So in 1939, two young girls meet in Shanghai, also known as the Paris of the East. Beautiful local Lee and Jewish refugee Rami form a fierce friendship, but the deepening shadows of World War II fall over the women as they slip between the city's glamorous French concession district and the teeming streets of the Shanghai ghetto. Soon the realities of war prove to be too much for those close friends as they're torn apart. And then we're in London in 2016 as well, and I don't want to know too much more than that, but I'm really excited to read another book by Christy Manning. I did enjoy The Lost Jewels. It didn't get 4 or 5 stars for me, but I did really enjoy it while I was reading it. So I'm excited to try another book by her. And then I got a scary book. This was only $2 at that thrift store, and I couldn't resist because it's in beautiful condition. Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, probably for you thriller readers, does not need any introduction. It's about a family that lived in this home, and the dad wrote a story about it being haunted, and the girl doesn't know if that was true or not. And she tries to later in life go back and figure out if this house was really haunted or something along those lines. I could be totally wrong about that, but I know it deals with haunted house type of stuff. So yeah, this is totally not my normal read, but I did read Lock Every Door by Riley Sager and I enjoyed it. So when I get the thriller mood, maybe this is what I'll pick up. So these are all the books from this first part of my July book haul. It's actually the last part of my July book haul, but I'm posting it in August and it's going up really late. The thing is also, before I get to the other books that I hauled this month, I am putting myself on a no by August. I should have done it in September and said no spend September because it just has a better ring to it. But I am on a spending ban in general across the board, which includes books for the month of August. having changed jobs and things, it just is very prudent of me to use up what's in the freezer, try to use things that are in my pantry already, and stop buying books. Plus, I brought a ton of books into my house in the month of July, and I'm really excited for them. So I'm excited for a no-spend August because I want to read all the books that are in my house currently. I have so many that I want to read. I mean, and plus we've got library books to think about as well. For the rest of the video, we'll hop on over to the other haul that I filmed already and carry on from there. I'll talk to you soon. I have quite a big box here from Book Outlet. I have a handful of books from the book swap that I participated in a couple of weeks ago. I have books from my trip to Massachusetts at the end of June, at the end of June. And I have some book of the month. I just have a lot of books here to share with you. So I'm just going to jump right in because I don't want this to be forever long. So first of all, I've already talked about all of these for my book swap. I'm just going to share them so that I can add them to Goodreads and put them on my shelves. So we have Miss Austen by Gil Hornby. I think this is a fictionalized version of Cassandra Austen's life, Jane Austen's sister. I'm pretty sure that's what this one is. I have The Secret Book and Scone Society by Ellery Adams. This is a cozy mystery. I have already read this one. I loved it, and I definitely would love to read more in this series. I have a play by Oscar Wilde, The Importance of Being Earnest. I've not read a play in quite a long time, and I love the movie of this, so I think it'll be fun to read the original work. I have The Bookshop at Water's End by Patty Callahan Henry. She is the author of Becoming Mrs. Lewis, which I really enjoyed, and it has bookshop in the title. And that's all I really need to know. I'm interested in reading more from this author, and I love books set in bookshops, based on books. I love it. So down for that one. The last one from the swap that I have is The Shell Seekers by Rosamund Pilcher. I read Winter Solstice by her and really loved it, and this is a perfect summary one, so I'd like to read this as well. And then on that same day, I bought this from a independent bookstore here in Richmond, and that's The Exiles by Christina Baker Klein. This is about a group of women who are sent to Australia from England because of some kind of crime that they committed or something along those lines. And we follow them as well as I believe an Aboriginal girl. I've heard good things about it. I loved The Orphan Train by Christina Baker Klein, so I'm very interested in reading more from her. When I was up north at my mom's in New York, I went to a thrift store with her and got a bunch of books, and also there are some bookshelves at camp. And so I just have two here to show you. The rest that I brought home from New York are being saved for a Christmas time project. But I did find The Mayor of Casterbridge by Thomas Hardy. Last year I read Far From the Madding Crowd by him, and I really loved it. I had to read Tess of the D'Urbervilles in college, I believe, and did not love it very much at all. So I'm not sure what I'm going to think about this one, but it was only 99 cents. It's in perfect condition, so I thought I would add this to my classics shelf. And then also adding to my classics shelf is the illustrated Sherlock Holmes Treasury, The Complete Adventures and Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes, The Return of Sherlock Holmes, and The Hound of the Baskervilles. So this is just a collection of short stories about Sherlock Holmes. It has pictures in there as well. I am so excited to have this. There's quite a few stories in here. So I'm really excited about this, by Arthur Conan Doyle. So it's kind of cool. I don't know that I've ever read officially anything with Sherlock Holmes. I must have when I was younger. I went through a huge mystery phase, but it's been a long time, I can tell you that much. Also at that thrift store, just because puzzles and books kind of go together, I found this super summery beach umbrella puzzle that just looks so fun and colorful. And it was also just 99 cents. I couldn't resist. I'm hoping all the pieces are there. We'll see. We'll see. Speaking of puzzles, at an independent bookstore in Massachusetts, this next stack is from Massachusetts, so you may have seen some of these already as well. At that independent bookstore, I grabbed this book club puzzle, and I think I talked about these on a vlog from that trip as well. But these people are all reading Olive or Twist. 20,000 channels on TV instead of 20,000 leagues under the sea. That's so funny. The Jungle Puzzle instead of the Jungle Book. Rooting for the Underdog. The DM of the Wild. I don't know. These just look really cute. Another fun puzzle to do. And the book that I got at that bookstore is called The Line Tender by Kate Allen. This is a middle grade book that I know is going to deal with grief and sharks. And I'm down for that. I've heard good things about it, and I'm very excited to now own it. It's been on my wish list for a while, my TBR for a while, and now I have it. When I was in Massachusetts, I got to meet Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand, and we went to a bookstore together, and I chose 2 books there. So I got Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell, which is super hyped all over the bookish world when it first came out. This is, I believe, the story of Shakespeare's son. I think there's going to be a mystery in here. I am a little nervous that it's going to be a little too slow and character driven for me. I'm okay with character driven, but I'm just a little worried it's going to be a little bit too slow for me, but I'm going to give it a try. And I also got a middle grade there, The Lost Fairy Tales, which is book 2 in the Pages & Co. series. I loved the first one, Tilly and the Book Wanderers, or I think here it's just called The Book Wanderers. And I'm very interested in reading this second book in that series. I'm not sure how many there are going to be in that series. I think there are already 3 out, and I now own 2 of them. Then some of these are also from the different library sales that I went to in Massachusetts. So I got Dead Wake, which is about the Lusitania, and this is a nonfiction, The Last Crossing of the Lusitania by Eric Larson. I've heard good things about Eric Larson, and I've not read anything by him yet, so thought this one might be interesting. The Mad Woman Upstairs by Catherine Lowell, which is a Jane Eyre retelling, and that's all I'll say about that. I hope it's good. Should be fun. A middle grade Newbery Honor book called Somewhere in the Darkness by Walter Dean Myers. I've never heard of this or seen it, but it was an honor book, and it was a fill a bag for $5 deal at this library sale. So I filled it with all sorts of things, like Hattie Big Sky by Kirby Larson. That's a beautiful cover. I think this is a middle grade set in the West. Yeah, Montana, Vida, Montana in 1918. And Hattie has been shuttled around from one distant relative to another. She's tired of being here and there. She wants to kind of find her home. So that sounds like a book that's right up my alley. I found a nonfiction by Brennan Manning, The Relentless Tenderness of Jesus. I've heard of Brennan Manning, but I don't think I've read anything by him. A Newbery book that I didn't own yet is A Gathering of Days. So I'm super excited to add that to my Newbery shelf. This is by Joan Bloss. It's a New England girls' journal from 1830 to 1832. Pretty cool. Add that to my Newbery shelf. 21 more to go. Not books here today, but 21 more Newbery books that I need up till I have them all. Salman Rushdie, Midnight Children. I believe I had to read something by Salman Rushdie when I was in college. I took a world literature class, but it was my senior year, and that's the year my dad passed away, and I really don't remember all the things that I had to read. So I don't know if this is the one that I had to read in college, but it's in perfect condition, and I was intrigued by it, so I threw it in my bag. Fill a bag. And then a book that I just have not read, but I've heard other people talk about, is Little Lord Fauntleroy by Frances Hodgson Burnett. And that is the author of A Little Princess and The Secret Garden. So I'm interested in reading this one as well by that author. My church gave me this one. Krista. That's me. Replenish by Lance Witt. It's about leading with a healthy soul. So I feel like that would be super relevant, and I'm going to read that one soon. I'm going to keep that out. I have a couple more birthday gifts that came in. The Extremely Inconvenient Adventures of Bronte Meadowstone, which I read during middle grade March. This is by Jacqueline Moriarty, who is the sister of Leanne Moriarty, Australian authors. This book was so much fun. It's quirky and different and laugh out loud moments, and I just feel like this would make such a fun read aloud. And this was gifted to me by Louisina, who is the Reading Ace on Instagram. So thank you so much, Louisina. I'm so excited that this is on my shelves now, because I really did enjoy reading this one from the library during middle grade March. Oh, and I believe it has a sequel out now as well. I'm not sure how many are going to be in this series, but I'm excited because I will absolutely read the sequel to that. I don't even know what's in this one because I didn't open it. But this is from Kathy Stevens, excuse me. She also has a copy of this. Hey, so let's read it together, Kathy. I love watching your videos and your love for God and books. Hope you have a great day. Aw, so nice. Let's see what it is. I love these bags. They're so fun. What is it? Oh, I love it. It's wrapped. I don't know. Oh, cool. I mean, look, that's a Krista book right there. The Forgotten Home Child by Genevieve Graham. Cool, an exquisite journey to the heart of what makes us human. It's 2 timelines, 2018 and 1936. A young girl caught in a scheme to rid England's streets of destitute children will stop at nothing to find her way home in this novel based on the true story of the British Home Children. Interesting. Based on a true story, which I love. So in 2018, 97-year-old Winifred Ellis knows she doesn't have much time left, and it's almost a relief to realize that once she is gone, the truth about her shameful past will die with her. But when her great-grandson Jamie, the spitting of her dear late husband, asks about their family tree, Winifred can't lie any longer, even if it means breaking a promise that she made long ago. And then in 1936, 15-year-old Winnie has never known a real home. After running away from an abusive stepfather, she falls in with Mary Jack and their ragtag group of friends roaming the streets of Liverpool. When the children are caught for stealing food, Winnie and Mary are left in Dr. Barnardo's Barkingside Girls' Village, a local home for orphans and forgotten children. At Barkingside, Winnie learns she will soon join other boys and girls in a faraway place called Canada. Oh, so I love that. So it is dual timeline, but we're learning about a grandmother's history. So it's not 2 different characters that are woven together. It's this grandmother's history. I'm very excited for that. Sounds really good. Really, really good. Thank you, Kathy. That's so kind of you. Oh, I'm excited for that one. Then I have 3 Book of the Month books that I picked this month. I chose 2 from the 5 options for July. So I chose this one mainly because I just love this cover. The People We Keep by Alison Larkin. Honestly, I don't remember what it's about, but isn't it a stunning cover? Little River, New York, 1994. Oh, that's when I graduated from high school. And in New York, April Sawicki is living in a motorless motorhome that her father won in a poker game. Failing out of school, picking up shifts at the diner, she's left finding herself in a town where she never quite felt at home. When she borrows her neighbor's car to perform at an open mic night, she realizes her life could be much bigger than where she came from. After a fight with her dad, she packs her stuff and leaves for good. And starts driving around. She moves through the world, meeting people who feel like home, chronicling her life in the songs that she writes, and discovers that where she came from doesn't dictate who she has to be. Ooh, that sounds really good. I love that music is a thread in here. Finding home, found family. It sounds really good. I love it. The People We Keep. I also chose this one, Sisters in Arms by Kaya Elderson. I love women's side of war. And this is the first and only all-black battalion of the Women's Army Corps, the legendary 688. These brave women risked their lives to serve with honor against incredible odds. Very cool. And it's based on the true story of the 6888th Central Postal Directory Battalion. It explores the untold story of what life was like for the only all-black female U.S. battalion to be deployed overseas during World War II. Yes, I'm so here for that. I'm here for World War II. I'm here for women fighting in war, and then to just learn more about this only all-black women's battalion, the only one that was sent overseas. I'm so excited about that. That's going to be so good. I hope that's going to be really good. And then this is one from last month that I just kept hearing about, and it just sounded so cool. So I did pick up The Other Black Girl by Zakiya Dalila Harris. And this one takes place in the publishing world, and there's this woman who works at this publishing company. She's the only black woman in her office until she's not. There's another black woman who's hired, or she learns about this other black woman, and she's kind of excited because she thinks now she has someone who can really relate to her and they can become friends, and that is not what happens. She starts getting threats, death threats, on her desk. These two women do not connect, do not get along, and it turns into almost like a mystery or a thriller, and I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm very intrigued by that premise. And so I just had to get that one. And then I have another book of the month that I picked up maybe from a Little Free Library. I forget. Oh, I think I bought this on the for sale shelf at Friends of the Library at one of the libraries that I went to recently, The Library of Legends by Janie Chang. And this one takes place in 1937 in China. Japanese bombs begin falling on the city of Nanking. 19-year-old Hu Lian and her classmates at university are ordered to flee. Lian and a convoy of students, faculty, and staff must walk 1,000 miles to safety. A journey marred by the constant threat of aerial attack. And it's not just the refugees who are at risk. The group has been entrusted with a priceless treasure, a 500-year-old collection of myths and folklore known as the Library of Legends. Oh, so this group of refugees in the midst of bombs are trying to rescue this book and get it to safety. I'm very excited to read this one. And that cover is just beautiful. Very cool. All right, now I have my book outlet box. Like I said, it's kind of big. Oh, let me move it to this side. Okay. I've talked about New York in Bloom, and I did say that I was going to put this one in my next box, and it's Paris in Bloom by Georgiana Lane. And so it's going to be very similar to New York in Bloom. Beautiful pictures of flowers all throughout Paris. And I've never been to Paris, but I'm really excited to explore it through the flowers, through the floral scene, through Georgiana Lane's eyes. Very excited. I heard about this one from Chantel and Becca at Hicks Picks Books. This is The Faithful Spy by John Hendricks, and it's a true story based on Dietrich Bonhoeffer's life, who was a German Christian who, I don't know, was he going to try to kill Hitler? But this is it's not exactly a graphic novel, but it is just really interestingly written and told. So I'm so thrilled about this one. I think that this is going to be very interesting. And then I bought my own copy of A Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela. I have a copy that I'm borrowing from somebody, and I really needed to return it to them. I had gotten about 100 pages into this last fall and then just set it down. It was a little bit on the slower side for me, so I think I will try to find this on audio and read along with it. I do want to read along with it because there are throughout a couple different sections that have like a bunch of pictures to kind of go along and give you ideas of what people and events were like that are mentioned in the book. So yeah, I do want to read this. It's Nelson Mandela's autobiography, and I just think that that's going to be so good. This is a gorgeous edition. I'm very excited to have that now. Another book that I learned about from Chantel is Forever or a Long, Long Time by Kayla Carter. I've since seen a bunch of other people talk about this one as well, but I believe this is going to have a lot to do with foster care / adoption. And Chantel just said that it's really, really good. So I'm excited for that. Some other middle grade that I grabbed are more books in the Keepers of the Lost City series. Ooh. So I'm not sure which order these go in, but I have Everblaze, Lodestar, and Neverseen. And I'm really excited to keep collecting these. I think there are 7 or 8 in the series altogether, and I already have 2 on my shelves, the first one and second one. So I think these are among the rest of them, but I'm not sure what order. I'll have to look that up, but excited to add those to my shelf. Another middle grade that I grabbed is Amal Unbound by Aisha Saeed. Beautiful cover. In this one, we follow a 12-year-old Pakistani girl who really dreams about being a teacher, but then I think she insults a member of the ruling family and ends up having to work at their house instead of pursuing her own dreams. So that sounds pretty cool. I grabbed August Isle by Ali Standish, and I heard someone talk about this. Maybe it was Chantel. I don't remember. It's about this young girl who's always wanted to go to August Isle. She's always heard about it. It's a place that her mother went to when she was younger, but then she ends up getting there in a way that she didn't expect and learns that even though things look perfect at August Isle, things are not quite what they seem, and she learns and discovers about some secrets, maybe about her own past, maybe about her mom. I'm not really sure. I just think that sounds super interesting. I picked up a Little Women retelling. This is Meg and Joe. It's a contemporary retelling of Little Women, so I think that should be pretty interesting and fun. I love Little Women. I grabbed a Christian fiction by Julie Klassen. She's an author that I've read and enjoyed before. This is A Castaway in Cornwall. This is going to be a historical with a romantic element to it and Christian fiction. So I think that will be good. Another Catherine Center that is one that I haven't yet read is Happiness for Beginners. I've heard some mixed things, I think, about this one, but I've loved the Catherine Center books that I've read so far, so I'm really excited to read more from her. And Brandon Sanderson, Skyward. I've recently heard, I think it was Becca, read this one, and she absolutely loved it. I've actually heard a lot of people read this one and really enjoy it. So I'm excited to dive into another Brandon Sanderson. I loved the Mistborn trilogy, and that's all that I've read from him so far. So this is a more YA. It is a YA series of his. I'm not sure if it's even a completed series. I know there's at least 2 out in the series so far, and this is book 1. So we'll read that one. Another YA that I grabbed is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I think I heard the Women on the Currently Reading podcast talk about this one, and that's why I decided to grab it. It's a private school in Vermont, founded by an early 20th century tycoon for the best and brightest students around. When his wife and daughter are kidnapped, the only clue is a riddle listing methods of murder, signed with the frightening pseudonym Truly Devious. So there's a little bit of a mystery involved here at this school in Vermont. Very exciting. That sounds really good to me. I grabbed 2 picture books that are going to be gifts for the little dude that I watch. His birthday is coming up. The next one that I have, I learned about because of the middle grade recommendations video that I do at the beginning of March every year, where I ask other booktubers to send me a middle grade book recommendation. And 2 people this year said Running Out of Time by Margaret Peterson Haddix. So I knew that I had to get that one, of course. If 2 people said it, I'm always impressed every year that we don't have more duplicates. This year there was only 1 duplicate, and it's a book that I had never heard of before. So it's going to deal with some time travel. Margaret Peterson Haddix wrote the Shadow Children, I think is the name of the series. It's like Among the Hidden, Among the Brave, Among the Free, that series, which I've read a long time ago and really enjoyed. So I'm excited to read more from her. I only have 3 more things, and then I'm done. This is a nonfiction by Melba Patillo Beals that is about her, about the integration of the schools in Little Rock, in particular Central High, where she was one of the students that was starting to go to Central High. So I think this is going to be a harrowing and heartbreaking story, but also filled with a lot of resilience and strength as well. And there are some photographs in here of the students that were involved and the school, and I just think this is going to be so good. And finally, I picked up this cover by, oh, not finally, I have one more thing. I also grabbed this cover by Flight of the Sparrow by Amy Belding Brown. I've never heard of this. I've never heard anyone talk about it. A historical novel based on the life of Mary Rowlandson, who was captured by natives back in the day. And I think it's just about her struggle to figure out where does she belong. So she's captured by a tribe of natives in 1676 in Massachusetts. But then she had already found herself in conflict with her Puritan community, and she finds that she kind of relates more to life when she's with this Indian community. Yeah, I think it's just going to be about the struggle between those 2 very different people groups and where does she fit in the whole thing. I'm really excited about that. And finally, the last thing that I got from Book Outlet is a crystal creation. I'm always looking for kind of fun things to work on when I'm listening to audiobooks. I love doing puzzles and I love doing happy color on my phone. I recently got a paint by number that I'm going to try, and then I also thought I would try this crystal creations as well. It comes with the crystal, like the page here that you're going to do, and then all the crystals that you need, and then all the tools are right in there. I thought that would be kind of a fun thing to try. We'll see. I do like to crochet, but only in the winter when it's cold, because it's too hot here to keep like yarn and stuff on me when I'm working on yarn projects. So I like different types of things for the majority of the year. But that is it. My huge July book haul. I am not expecting anything else this month, but you never know. I'd love to chat with you down in the comments. Do any of these books kind of strike a bell with you? Have you read any of them? Do they sound interesting to you? I would love to chat about that with you down in the comments. You guys know I love talking with you down there. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps my channel. Subscribe if you haven't already so that we can become bookish friends. And I will talk to you in another video very soon. Bye.